Hey guys, it's Yusuf. Today we're doing part 2 of the Power Apps Help Desk app. So to follow along, make sure you watch part 1. We're going to be, hopefully we can get through finishing this app today. We'll see. This is the 4th attempt I'm making at recording this because there's been so many interruptions. So we're going to pray that I can get through this one because I don't want to re-record. It's really odd. Quick story. I lived in LA, and so there it was so noisy. There's always, homeless people screaming outside or girls coming back from a bachelorette party. And now I live in Laguna Beach, which is super suburban and quiet, but there's like these loud, majestic birds outside. My door, like people actually knock on your door, surprise visits, and I just got asked to join like the neighborhood, bake sale or potluck, something weird like that, which I will not be going to. So there's been weird interruptions. So now hopefully I think we're going to be okay. Made myself a nice margarita since it's nice and hot out. That's strong, but it's definitely good. Hopefully you're enjoying a cocktail or some nice weather, or I don't know, if you don't drink, maybe like a ginger ale or something. So here we go. Where we left off, we got our gallery done. So we have everything we need in the gallery. One thing I will say, like as I come back and I look at this is, we're doing this quick, but I really, an important part of building these apps, especially if you're collaborating with others or handing them off to a client, anything like that, like you really have to keep track of labeling. I'm not doing a good job here because, of course, we're just doing this on the fly. But always keep that in mind. Try to rename every control you add as you go. Definitely don't want to wait till the end. It also just makes it easier to look up anything. And I'll add the link, but there's actually a really good document. Let's see, Microsoft Power Apps coding standard, something like that. I feel like I forgot what it's called. Yeah, so here it is. There's a great document on some kind of like just best practices. So if you're new and you're getting to Power Apps, like this is a really good document. So I will add the link in the video description, but it goes through some best practices and then just gives you some good, simple naming conventions you can use. Of course, you can make your own, but definitely I always recommend making whatever you name things super clear and obvious, especially because if you're collaborating, you want them to be able to not have to guess what you're doing. You want them to know right away what something is. All right, now that I've been sidetracked a bit, let's get back into this. So I'm not going to rename. I guess this is bad practice, but let's pretend that I did, and these are all labeled correctly. What we want to do next is we have this gallery. It's working good. I like the look of it. Is now I want to add a little summary here. So again, to have a really great user experience in your app, you have to constantly think about your user. If you're an IT person and you're responding to these tickets, this is probably going to be something you have open all the time. And so we definitely want to have it easy to find any tickets, and I think we did that well in the gallery. But you're also going to want some just quick info. So maybe how many tickets are in today? How many were completed? If you're a team, the IT manager definitely is probably want to know, like, okay, we received 20 tickets today. One's been done today. So it might be like, what's going on, guys? Like, pick up the pace. But so I want to make that nice recap. I think a subtle summary is super helpful, but we can definitely always make an additional screen that is maybe, let's say, a Power BI report or just, a way more detailed analytics page. But for now, I think we can just do a nice summary bar. So let me go ahead and just lower this because I think we're going to need some more room. Also, I know I kind of flew through how to do the kind of rectangle with a drop shadow. I did post a Power Apps link that you can download a component of how to build these. It's already built for you, but I made 3. So I made a top bar, a standard, and then a left panel. And so you guys can actually download it and put it into your own apps. And I added a bunch of things in there so you guys can change the depth of the, blur of the shadow. You can change the sizing, all of that kind of stuff. So now, let's see, why do I have an error? Oh, let's get rid of this guy. All right, so we can do a couple things. We can do a card for each, let's say, data number we're going to show, or we can do one long one. I think I'm going to do a card for each because having just another long bar, it's going to look a little too liney. So let's break this up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and let's think. We'll do request received today, request completed today, total open, and let's do total unassigned. I think that would be a good one. If you're jumping into the queue and you're trying to pick up something, you can quickly see, all right, there's 15 things that no one's picked up. So I think that could be a good one. So we'll do those 4. So now I'm going to go ahead and edit this. I've been getting a lot of your guys' messages, and I'm super happy that you guys are finding this helpful. I know it's they're a bit long. I'm not coming into this pre-planned necessarily or scripted, and I also have a really hard time staying focused. So I'm glad you guys still enjoyed it, even though I am all over the place. But we'll definitely get better about making these quicker. I just think it's always interesting to me when I'm learning something. Let's say if I'm jumping into coding, I really just like seeing people's thinking process, and I kind of like seeing the real kind of error messages they get and how they solve them. I kind of find that a little fun. But other times too, I do really appreciate, when someone comes with a very clear thing they're showing. It's perfect for getting quick answers. So I'll definitely try to mix the type of videos we do. I do. I don't know why I always say we as if I'm multiple people. All right. So if we do 4, here's what we're going to do. I want to be the same width as this. So this is at 1078. And then if we have 4, that means we're going to have 3 gaps between them. And I want to do those at 24 each. And I'm going to get my super ghetto calculator. I have 3 of these. I carry them everywhere, and they're so embarrassing. I find it so much easier to use than opening up a calculator app or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1078, and then if I do 3 gaps, which will each be 24. So we have, I'm not going to even try to do math because I'm going to embarrass myself. So 72. So I'm going to do 1078 minus 72. Divided by 4 for the 4 cards I'm going to do. And so we get 251.5. I'm surprised these dogs are so behaved right now. All right, 251.5. And do we want them at 48? I think they need to be... Actually, you know what? That's not a bad size. Maybe we can make it the height a little bigger. So remember, we're always saying 8. And I don't remember if I mentioned it last time, but the reason why I do 8 is because that is the easiest number to divide up your screen sizes. They're usually divisible of 8. So I am gonna do 56. And so I know I haven't gotten into the super fine details of this. Maybe I'll do a video in case you guys want to learn how to actually break this down. But since I made this 56, I need to, this is the size of my actual square, but the image itself needs to be bigger because I don't want to cut off the drop shadow. And so I'm going to go ahead and make this 72. I'm going to make sure I do it in the 30 places. Cool, and then we did make these little margins, so I'm going to go ahead and just make sure I get it correct. Copy and paste. So it's a little tricky because I'm eyeballing this right now, but we can definitely be way more detailed by putting rules in and following the actual margins I put into this code, but I'm just doing a quick little cheat. It's good enough for now. So I definitely have a little bit of an issue here. It's probably my awesome math skills, but at some point I clearly did not do the math right because this is hanging over. But let's just pretend that it is lined up with this red line. All right. So for these, go away. For these, I'm not going to change the drop shadow blur. I'm okay with it being at the same elevation of the gallery cards. So I'm going to keep that as is, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add a couple labels. So let's do I'm going to keep this at 11. Let's drop it to make this 56 to be the same height of the card, and then this should be good, right? Yep. And so what I'm going to do is put the label of what this number represents, and I want this to be 24 points away from the edge. And I'm going to do a semi-bold, but I'm also going to take the color down to a gray. Let's do maybe 60, 60, 60. Actually, you know what? I want to do the color we used here. Obviously, if we were fully planning this out and, it is the same. Fully planning this out, I would, ahead of time, have picked out these colors and set up a collection of some sort or a component to make sure I have all my colors, font sizes, and everything set up so that I'm not, manually entering every time. And then also, especially if I want to make a change, if I change my mind which gray I want to use, I can do it once instead of multiple times. But we are on the fly. This is on the fly version. So let's do open tickets. You know what? I might actually take, yeah, I think I'm going to keep it non-bold. A little too aggressive with that bold. So let me just do a new label. And I'm gonna, let's see, count rows, and I'm gonna do my collection, which is all my active tickets. So I'm just gonna do the default equal 5 padding on all sides, and then I'm going to make this centered. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna right justify it. I don't think I would want this to be centered, just so that it looks nice and clean and even. So then I'm going to do a 24 point padding on the right, and we should probably have to do 28. Maybe a little aggressive. Let's do 24. And I need to move this over because it's not perfectly lined up. So let's try 88. Oh, whoops, it's the Y. So let's try 398. Looks good. All right. And this I actually do want bold, and I want it to be black so it really pops. And then again, you know, that's what I love, having this little margin helper, because of course, like I said, we can be super good about having a collection with our margins and doing everything based off that, but on the fly it's super helpful to have, so then I can see, okay, cool, I got a even 24 margin. Honestly, a lot of apps, people send me apps sometimes, screenshots of their apps and just saying, you know, hey, like, how do you think I can improve it? And just being consistent on your font use, your margins, you know, the alignment can go such a long way. You know, yeah, I'm doing some cool stuff, you know, with the drop shadows, and, you know, yes, like I do UX design, that's where I have experience, but you don't need all of that experience sometimes. You can just do simple organization and be super consistent, and it'll make your app go a really long way. Cool. So now we have open tickets. Also, I'll say another thing that maybe I'll do in a later video is we could actually probably just do this all as one control, using a little bit of an using SVGs and a little bit of coding. We don't got time for that today. So open tickets, let's do, I completely forgot what I said I would do. So let's put ourselves back into the IT guy or girl. I want to know how many open tickets. I want to know, definitely want to know how many I have open. So I'm going to do assign to me. So count rows, and let's filter this guy. Filter signed email equals user. One thing is, if you use kind of this user function to pull like the person that's actually in the app, their name and email, your app will perform a little faster if you just do a global variable on the app start. So if you're ever going to use this function, you know, it's just best to do on the app start, do a global variable pulling this information, so it's not doing a call for it every time it's used somewhere. So yeah, I might just do UX stuff, but I also know like a little bit, you know. There's some smart guys out there on Twitter that I definitely keep track of when it comes to the data stuff. All right, so it's going to equal that. And this test data I entered, I did not enter emails. So that is my bad. So I'm going to go ahead and do it based on name. There we go. And I always use email. I try not to ever do name just because if you have a tenant that has a good amount of users, email is a safer thing to go by. I've definitely run into issues where a tenant has 500 plus people in their Active Directory, and there's multiple names and spelling, and it can cause issues. So email, if you're gonna go by anything, it's probably safer. All right, so now let's do kind of liking this app so far, even though I'm kind of going off of my go-to. Let's do, looks like maybe 2 more. Yep, perfect. All right, and this one we'll do, let's do unassigned. So we're going to do assign name equals blank. And then copy and paste. And we're going to want to make this completed today. And now to get this, what we'll do is I'm going to do a collection. I just want to make sure I don't run into a delegation issue. So I'm just going to do clear collect. This collection is going to be completed today. And let's say filter, do my help desk, completed year equals year today, and then completed month equals month today. Completed year, month, day equals day today. There we go. Let me just run this collection. And then I want to count rows of my collection completed today, which I think I only have like 1. Yeah, okay. Cool. The reason why I did the collection is doing count rows. You will run into a delegation issue if I do count rows, then the filter. So I don't have delegation issue doing my collection, and then I can do count rows. And so that's why I did that. All right, so now I'm pretty into this. Do now need to like fix the spacing of how many of these do I have? All right. And I want to make sure this is a equal 24 point margin. All right. So now we've got our gallery. We have a nice little summary up there. I would then want to start adding some of these filters. So what I would do, we could definitely make a side menu using gallery, which is probably preferred, I would say. But to keep it simple, I'm going to just go ahead and do a button. And so thinking back to our T guy, let's have all, this is basically going to be a left kind of navigation that allows users to filter this report. So what I want to do is have it just have a multiple purpose. So I can click on it to say, just show me my tickets, but it will kind of also, I'm going to add the, just like we did here, we have a title and then the count of rows. We'll do like the same thing here. There's nothing wrong with it to me, just show it multiple times. It just gives the user a couple places to see things, and it just makes this filter that much better. And so I'm going to go ahead and make this, let's say, I want this to say actually, you know what? Make two labels. So we'll make this left justified and keep it at 11. Doesn't need to be that big. .24 padding. Actually, you know what? Let's just make this. Just go ahead and make this a gallery. It'll just be nice and cleaner, and it actually will just make the performance for your app better if it's a gallery opposed to a bunch of different controls. So then what we'll do is, let's make it a collection. So on my on start, what I'm going to do is make a collection for this menu, and we'll do, so let's do clear collect, and then I'll do collect, let's do menu, and I'm going to call this, so we'll do title and make the first one all tickets. Oh, whoops. And then I'm going to do, let's say count number will be count rows of our collection of active help tickets. And then I'm also going to add an ID. Just do one, and I'm going to copy this to make a new one. And let's say my tickets. And we can actually copy this. actually want to be consistent with the labeling. So we use assigned to me on the summary card. So you'll want to keep it consistent. Just with all your apps, like any kind of language you use, keep it consistent all the way through. All right, and then let's do we can do unassigned. Again, I can copy what I already put over here. All right. So let's run our on start again. Margarita's melting. Gallery menu. All right, and I'm gonna take the padding off of this. Height, I think I'm gonna do 48. And what I'm gonna want to add is 2 labels. I'm going to do one. Let me get 11 to stay consistent. I think we'll do a semi-bold. And it'll be this. Oh, wait, we got to make this gallery default to our collection. So collect menu. And I want this to be 24-point margin, or padding rather. And I'll have this be white text. This will be the count number we just created, and I'm going to have it to the right, which means I need to make this 24 point. I'm actually going to take this all the way down. I think we can go ahead and just make this a little smaller. Let's do 40. Perfect. And then, let's see. Selecting these, what I'm going to do is change the fill. So I want the fill to be if this item dot is selected. I'm going to try out black. If not, let's do our color value. So then now I can see what's selected and what's not selected. So of course I would definitely add a lot more filters here. So it would have, all tickets assigned to me, unassigned, completed today, received today, just give enough options. And all we're really going to do is every time one's selected, have it update the filter on the collection. And so what I would just end up doing is for my on select, I would say switch this item dot ID, so equals 1. All it's going to do is show what we have. So let's, for this, we actually don't have to, oh wait, no, sorry, hold on. When they select the all, we'll do the same collection we do for our active tickets. And then I'm going to do, also just as a FYI, switch processes faster than the if statement, so try to use that when you can. So if it's 2 now assigned to me, I'm going to do clear collect, update this collection. The active help desk tickets to filter help desk, and then assigned name equals user, and then so we do have a delegation warning. What I would say is we can actually just do clear collect filter so I'm going to want the same clear collect that I did here. And then do clear collect so I'm going to just filter this active help desk tickets where I have assigned name equals user full name. And so all I really did is, wait, let me just make sure I close this properly. So what I'm doing, just to not have that delegation issue, is I'm doing a collection of my active tickets, and then another collection to filter that out by the assigned name. So it's double collecting it, double filtering it. All right, so then if it's 3, what did I have for 3? Unassigned to me, so 3. Clear collect. filter the help desk to be assign name equals blank. And just double checking that I have everything done here. All right. So let's just make sure that is good. So assigned to me, perfect, unassigned, perfect. So although you may kind of feel like there's, double data, it is, but it doesn't hurt to be able to see it. And then plus we would have more filters here. So then what I'm seeing is like unassigned, it's changing the summary as well. So I can see unassigned tickets, how many of them are open. Obviously assigned to me would make sense, but you get it. So just giving those options, what it does is you don't have to put a bunch of different filters and take it up here. You have these default filters. It makes it just a lot easier for them to kind of get a summary and easily just toggle between the filters, and it's all one screen. You don't really have to worry about, having, let's say like 6 input fields that you're trying to filter and dealing with. So this kind of makes it nice for them. They don't have to do anything. What they need to know is here. So this would probably, like I said, we would add a bunch more just to make this a super flexible tool for our IT team. So now the next things we would get into, obviously, like I said, we would add more here, but I think this is good for now, is getting into the actual form. And so to make this video not super long, I'll actually just do a part 3. And the part 3 will get into the last part of creating the form that's related to this, where they can go ahead and edit, update status, and all of that. So stay tuned for that video.